Welcome into Black and Gold Insider. This is the show where we get to know the members of the Black and Gold a little bit better. I am Max Bretos, and one of the players, a defender who has joined LAFC in the secondary transfer window of 2025, Ryan Porteous, joining us to the show. Hey, Ryan, I know you're Scottish, but I'm getting a nice LA vibe from you already. You got the suntan, got the tips.
I'm not sure. I think you might still need the subtitles on this. So
don't get us started with subtitles. It's been the bane of our. We're working on it for because we have a very international roster. So it needs be, but so far so good.
Perfect.
It's great to have a Scot on the team. We know the energy and the culture that Scotland provides to football is so invaluable. It's great that it's with LA. So tell us a little bit about where you're from.
So I'm from a town called Dalkeith, just outside of Edinburgh. Obviously lived there my full life. It's a pretty small place, but football's always the main sport there. And in Scotland, the attitude towards football is pretty big, pretty massive. And I know you guys say soccer, but I'm not at that stage yet, so I'll try my best. But yeah, it was a good place to grow up, and a big change from here. But it's always good to look back at that place.
So close to Edinburgh, which is a big tourist attraction. What was your favorite part about being from Edinburgh? What's the thing you look forward to the most?
I think just being around family and friends, and the people are great there. There's a lot of good sights, and the one thing that I'm into is golf, and that's probably the best thing that Scotland has is great golf courses and a lot of history there as well. So it's a beautiful place, and somewhere I would recommend to go and visit if you've never been.
When I hear someone mention golf, I'm supposed to ask what the handicap is. So what are we talking about here?
I'm off about 12, 13 right now. I've not got the official one, so I'm making an estimate. But it's been pretty good when I've played out here. I think it's not as challenging as the courses back home with all the wind and the rain. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
What is the British Open or the Open Championship expression? Nay wind, nay rain, nay golf. Is that right? Did I get that wrong?
No, we'll play golf in the wind and the rain. So
beautiful.
We'll be out there.
And you've already put some golf time here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I played a couple of times. A few of the lads play, and we've been out there. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. But
you're good. But you know Gareth Bale.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I've got a long way to go for that. I've got a long way to go before I can rely on my golf game after my career.
So tell us about how you got the football bug. When did you know this was something that you could pursue, that you had the skills to be professional?
In terms of becoming a professional, probably maybe a little bit later on in my head about taking it seriously, maybe 15, 16. But obviously I was in youth academies in Scotland at Hibernian, the team I kind of grew up supporting. And yeah, that was brilliant. Obviously it was just fun. And love of the game at that stage, and then when you're starting to leave high school, and then you get a feel of if you're going to get a professional contract or not, and then you do, it really settles in pretty quickly, and then you're into the thick of professional football, where things are on the line, and it's still fun, but there's a lot on the line as well. So it's been, as I said, Scotland and Edinburgh is massive for football, and anybody that gets the chance to play professional is, we're very privileged.
I visited a couple of times. It was a long time ago, but I've always been drawn to the Scottish game, and I'm glad you mentioned Hibernian, or Hibs, as you first said. Mm-hmm. It is a club with an incredible history and culture. Tell us a little bit about that club and why it's so important to you.
Yeah, as I said, it was the club that I grew up supporting. My family were big Hibs fans as well, and it's a pretty small place, Edinburgh, but the fan base is fantastic for both Edinburgh teams, Hibs and Hearts, and it's a big rivalry, and the atmosphere is intense. But it's a very special club to me, and it's good to hear the time difference. I can actually watch the majority of the games, albeit it's very early in the morning, but I get to watch the games, and it's something that I love, and probably the biggest inspiration in my career was playing for that football club.
You can get at a touch of a button, you can get all the SPL action at your fingertips. And look, I watch a lot of football, and Hibernian has, to me, the best tradition with the singing of Sunshine on Leith. If you're not familiar with it, pull it up on YouTube. It's the the Proclaimers, the brothers there, and they sing it there. Wait, you must have heard that many times. We think of like Never Walk Alone at Liverpool, but I put this one there. What's it like to be in the stadium when that's being sung?
Yeah, it's a special song. And obviously I'm biased because I'm a big Hibs fan, but I think what makes it so special is that, it's only Hibernian that sing that song. And we don't sing it after, every game. It's special occasions, after, big wins. After we won the Cup in 2016, I'd encourage anybody to go and watch that rendition of Sunshine on Leaf. It's, spine-tingling stuff. And I still get goosebumps to this day watching it. And You Never Walk Alone is a fantastic song, but it's sung by many clubs, and I think you hear it, every week. I'm not getting defensive now, but yeah,
I like it. It was the right answer.
It's a special song, and I would, encourage someone to go, everyone really, to go and have a look at that rendition.
So the Scottish Cup Final of 2016. You got some homework to do. Our listeners here, check it out and be moved. Could you sing that in the drop of a hat? Do you have?
I could do, but you can't. It's got to be saved for special occasions.
As you said at the beginning. One will come around. We'd love to see something like that here. So leaving Hibernian, your boyhood club, you were starting to get some interest outside of Scotland. What was next for Ryan Porteous?
Yeah, so it came to the point where I had, only a few months left on my contract at Hibernian, and it was a tough decision. I could have waited and seen, maybe signed another contract at Hibs, but I felt I was ready. I felt like I was ready to move on and progress as a person, but obviously more importantly as a player, and really kick on my career and my aspirations of international football. And that happened as soon as I moved down to Watford in the English Championship. We had a great. I had a great few years there. Really enjoyed it. That club will always be special to me as well. And as I said, it really helped me kick on, on an international stage. I got a lot of caps in those 3 years, and qualified for the Euros, a major tournament, and that's probably the highlight of my career. So yeah, it was a very tough decision to leave Hibernian at the time, but I think it was the right one. But yeah, it's always going to be tough, leaving your boyhood club.
But playing in England, obviously for young Scottish players, young Welsh players, that has to be always on your mind, because it as great as the SPL is, that is the big leagues. Obviously, that's the big window for a player.
Yeah, definitely. At the time I was joining Watford, who had a very strong team, and for certain reasons that we quite didn't get in the playoffs and make that next step. But yeah, it was one of them where I just felt like I needed to adapt my game, play in a different league, a different culture, in a different environment, and try and let my personality grow and my game grow. And I think I've definitely done that. So yeah, listen, I loved it there, and I'll look back with fond memories.
And you've done it again, a different league, a different culture, a different environment, coming to LAFC. Tell us about when that interest started to come. When did you first hear about it? What did you know about the club, and why was it the right next destination for you?
Yeah, well, I think over the summer, I had a long, hard think of what was best for me, what was next. And we had, a couple options abroad, like within Europe, and then the idea of MLS and LAFC came about, and Neil McGuinness here, he sold me the dream. He talked up the club fantastically. I'd done my research, looked at the roster, looked at the manager's history as well, and a very successful club. In the short period of existence, it's been very successful, always competing for trophies, and that's something I want to add to my game, is playing in these high pressure games where things are on the line, the trophies are on the line, and we've got immense quality in this changing room, and that's something I wanted to jump at.
And a good impression was made. I believe you're our first Scot. We've got our British ties in. Obviously, Gareth Bale played here, Welsh. Andy Moran, who's coming in, is Irish, and Lewis O'Brien, who is English.
Yep.
That's very new. Is that how much of an appeal is that, not just with regards to the club, but with a guy like Neil McGuinness and John Thorrington being able to have those conversations with you?
Yeah, I think it's a thing of the past now. younger players from Europe or from the UK wanting to come over to the MLS to finish off their career. I think it's a thing of the past now. You can see the league is getting better and better. The style of play is getting better, the infrastructure, the fans. I've been at the 2 home games in the Leagues Cup, and the atmosphere was fantastic. And I'm not just saying that, it was electric. And yeah, it's a growing league, but I think now it's at the stage where, I think young, European players will come over here with a different frame of mind. With the introduction of, a lot of the big players will help that, but I think with the introduction of, the likes of me and Andy making this step at an age like this, it can only help as well.
I'm telling you, Ryan, that is a big deal, and your presence here is certainly something that is going to help LAFC grow. So we appreciate that move that you made. Have you ever visited the United States prior?
Yeah, I hadn't visited LA. Obviously, I've heard great things. I've visited a lot of places, to be fair.
Really?
Florida, Nashville, Vegas, Miami, New York.
Nothing off the beaten path, I see.
Not enough there, but I hadn't been to LA. I think that was definitely the next one. But yeah, I love it out here. Love the people, love the culture, and I think it's just in a really good place right now.
Some of that, like preseason tours, and then just some on your own personal.
Yeah, usually like with my family when I was younger.
Right on.
Yeah, holiday with my girlfriend. She loves it out here. This is her favourite place. So she's never been to LA, but Florida, she loves that, and she knows there's a couple of Universals and Disney out here. So I think I'll be dragged to them very shortly.
With that, it's the theme parks out of this world. Would that be at the top of the list of things that you and the girlfriend would like to experience?
Yeah, but she's not out here just now. But I'm going to need to wait until she does before I'm dragged to that. I better not get in her bad books before she comes out here.
So yeah, and the family, they'll all with their time in the States, that'd be an easy invite to come.
Yeah, of course. My mum and dad are at the age now where they still work, but I'm sure they could be pretty flexible with it. And I think my dad's planning on coming out here October, and maybe depending on how far we get into the playoff, never go back. So I did warn them. I was like, as soon as you come out here, you're not going to go back. So
we need you in the PR department.
You better book a flight,
Ryan. You're going to be our British ambassador. So you mentioned how the things are changing, and again, there was a time where a high-profile European or British player like yourself coming to MLS could have dampened your possibility on the international stage. You have broken through for Scotland. You were on the roster at Euro 2024. You have World Cup qualifying coming up. You've been playing for them in this year, so obviously the manager and everyone rates you highly. What are those conversations like, and how do you feel playing with LAFC can help your status on the national team, and certainly help maybe others if they decide to make that move?
Yeah, I think the prime example, looking at it, is Vancouver's captain Ryan Gold. He's been fantastic out here. MLS All-Star, and I think they look a different team when he plays. He's a fantastic player, and since he came out here, it maybe took him a little while to try and break into that Scotland squad. But I think when he did and when he was fit, it's shown that the level he was at. I don't think a lot of people expected him to be at the level he was. He came into the changing room at Scotland and he was fantastic. So I think that tells you everything you need to know about the league. But as you said, if you're playing in these big games, in the environment as well, it's not, no one's coming out here for a holiday. These lads are out here working their socks off every day, and they're top players. I would say I would be pleasantly surprised, but Neil told me in the conversations I had with other people is not to be surprised with the level. I think there's definitely things that can be better, but that's the same everywhere. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really happy with the decision that I made.
And it's Steve Clark's the manager still there.
Yeah, Steve Clark. Yeah.
So he's gonna have to stay up late to watch your games in the middle of the night in the UK to see you and Ryan, because he's gonna have to consider you.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm sure he will do that. He's been fantastic for me, probably the most influential man in football for me. Stuck by me through 4 or 5 years with the national team, and as long as I was playing and playing consistently well, he would call me up, and then eventually he had the faith in me to give me that shot during the qualifying campaign, and it paid off for us and for myself personally. We had a great qualifying campaign and qualified for the Euros. So yeah, listen, for me, it's about getting game time here regularly, competing at a high level, being consistent, and hopefully I can be back in that international setup.
That is brilliant to hear that connection between you and the gaffer. World Cup is here next summer. Your World Cup qualifying begins next month, and LAFC, with all the players that have come in recent weeks, with the players that are here, we could have a real celebration. What would it mean for you in Scotland to make the World Cup?
Yeah, it would mean everything. The squad that we've had over the last 4 or 5 years has been a team that has set records and broke these kind of ducks, so to speak. It had been a long time since Scotland had qualified for a major tournament. The lads managed to do it back to back with the European Championships, but now the World Cup is the one that we want, and I'm sure the manager will want that very much as well. I don't think they've done it in my lifetime, so I think we've got a fantastic squad right now. The lads that are in the squad fully deserve it, and they've been playing games regularly at a top level. So I'm confident. It's always tough qualifying for the Euros, but for the World Cup, sorry. But I think the team couldn't be in better shape, and the manager's got all the experience, in the world. So, I wish them all the best for the coming games, and hopefully I can get back in there soon.
We wish you the best too, and if Scotland makes it, you could commute out of your home in LA, get right in there.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Show up in your pajamas.
I don't think you guys are ready for 250,000 Scottish people coming over here, though.
I don't want to even think about it, but we would be thrilled, and I know the folks would be pumped to see that happen. Before I let you go, you were part of the transfer window, which saw the arrival of Son Heung-min. Playing in England, you probably got a very close look at him. What were your thoughts about how you viewed Son Heung-min without knowing him, and now as a teammate? How are those things different?
I think when you think of a superstar player like Sonny, you don't really know how they're going to be as human beings. But then you quickly realise that he's played at this level for a reason. He's a top guy, top professional. And we've played a lot of football in the same kind of area in London, the same changing room sort of banter, so to speak. So I think he understands me more than I thought he would. But he's a great lad, fantastic player, and it's obviously a privilege to play with him. But there's obviously loads of fantastic players in here as well that maybe go under the radar. So I'm pretty happy that we signed at the same time, so I can just slip in there nice and easy.
Don't attract too much attention.
Yeah.
We know that the attackers are things are rubbing off on him and learning, but as a defender training against him, what is that experience like, and how is that helping your game?
Yes, obviously he's a top player, so, as I said, and you want to play against these players and with these players, and that's how you're going to get better as as an individual. So yeah, listen, he's top. It's difficult at times, but you find a way to try and deal with them, and you just hope that the opposition players don't get that. But yeah, he's tough, man. He's tough, and he's a good player. So yeah, it's a privilege.
Ryan Porteous joining us here on Black and Gold Insider. Thrilled to have you with the club. Experience all you can, and now you've had a good taste of the club. You have a good taste of everything that LA has to offer. Enjoy yourself, and we look forward to the 250,000 Scots coming here potentially. Knock on wood.
Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate it.
Ryan Porteous joining us here on Black and Gold Insider. We're here every week, so we get to know the players on an intimate basis. Until we meet again, this is Max Bretos saying, let's go Black and Gold.